Hey, today I want to talk about emotional decluttering, what it is, why it sucks, and how to make it suck slightly less using skills you already have because you watch minimalism videos. So, if you don't already know, and you probably do because you clicked on this video, Here You're Living, Youheum is a master at communicating the importance of emotional decluttering. So after we've done all the cleanup of real life stuff, then we finally have the mental space and capacity to deal with all the clutter inside ourselves. So what can that be? It can be past like trauma, it can be like ambitions and goals that are kind of like nagging at us, but we're not really sure how to deal with. It could be like things that we currently do that we're like, gosh, like if I don't have to do this, I'll be great, but I can't seem to get out of habitually doing these things. So these are all really important aspects of like having peace and calm in our lives. But to be honest, it is really hard to do. So I feel like for me, actually, sometimes I love You Home. I love Here You're Living, but it's really hard for me to watch these videos because I'm like, oh God, it's another thing that I need to do. And ironically, it becomes clutter, not because like she's trying to create clutter for us, but because how my mind naturally interprets like things or like tasks that I assign to myself. So I've been really trying to think of like how do I solve this problem because inadvertently I have made trying to do emotional decluttering in itself a clutter, right? And so I've thought about how, like, for me, like, why I enjoy watching a lot of these extreme minimalism or minimalism videos. It's because when I'm watching it, it has that like soothing and calming quality, right? And it's because when I am envisioning myself in those spaces, it's as though I suddenly have that a little bit more capacity in order to feel like okay, like things are okay temporarily within these few minutes of me watching these videos. And it allows me to take a pause and be like, okay, like if I can, in a way, almost like take a vacation from myself and my surroundings and be in Craig's beige room if you watch 10 Liter Life, what would that be like? What if I'm in Florida having no responsibilities? Well, that I don't want to take on and walk around with a gray shirt. So I think like these are like little moments of imagination that's available to us as since you've seen a lot of these content. Like if there's a way in which I can invoke these moments and think of a story of like, okay, what if I am Home in her beautiful all linen environment and be like, oh, like what is that like for a second and realize that, well, I mean, there's really like nothing that's stopping me from being mentally in that moment and emotionally in that moment. What would it take for me to be able to get there? I think like these are like slightly more helpful ways in which we can take minimalism videos and turn them into a sort of practice that we can have even when we're not watching these videos. So to recap, emotional declutter is really important. It sucks a lot to do it, but one potentially easier way where we don't even have to learn a new thing is to just imagine placing ourselves into the lives of these extreme minimalists that we like to watch and think about how, well, like if I was like that, like what would it feel like in the body? What is potentially like preventing me from reaching these states? And of course, like it is very easy. Like, I think like the envisioning how to get there part is usually when clutter reappears again. But I think like like imagining ourselves in their place is almost like the first step. And once we have that like baseline capacity to do so, then it becomes like a little bit more possible to envision some of the harder steps that You Home Here You're Living like does a much better job than me talking about. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm really trying to like sort of like teach myself as well, like how can I learn and do new things without actually having to learn new things because I'm filled up as well, and like How can I make life less hard for myself instead of more hard? Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.